And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day. How are you guys doing? It's a new day. It's Tuesday. It's Tip Tuesday. And we are going to be talking about photography today. And the subject is, hold on a second. Oh, that wasn't supposed to show. There we go. How to photograph your Memorial Day holiday with your camera and smartphone. So that's what we're going to talk about today in our Tip Tuesday segment. Everyone's getting ready for the holiday. They even closed out our management office for my co-op. So everyone's getting ready for the holiday. The holiday's not that far away, and a lot of people will be taking off like I am starting tomorrow. And for those that don't know, won't be here the rest of the week after today. Today's our last Touch Base Daily of this week. And I am taking a little vacation until next week this time because I need to put my feet to the pedal and deconstruct my apartment as I get ready to get it painted. So it's going to get painted hopefully next week. And so that is what I'll be doing for my holiday, is getting my apartment down to size and having friends come over and pick up items. And yeah, so it's going to be a busy couple of days from now to Memorial Day. And I'm excited because it's a new chapter in my life. And so that's going to be fun. So what is going on in your world on this wonderful Tip Tuesday? I see the first person in the building. The first person in the building. She's like the record holder now of being the first person in the building every Tuesday, every day, except when she's gardening. But even when yesterday she was gardening and she was still here. Hannah says, good morning, Ron. Touch Base Daily family. Jazzy says, good morning, beautiful people. And that's Jazzy gets the silver. And getting the bronze today is Fifi. Felicia Button is in the building. Good morning, all, she says. And I know she's on the road somewhere in America. And Elise is in the building. What's going on, Elise? I miss talking to you. I miss chatting with you. I just miss you, Elise. Maybe I should have you guys on. Maybe I should just send an invitation to Elise and Gwendolyn if they want to pop one before, since this is the last show for a week almost. Let me do that. Let me send it out to them. I was like, I'm just going to go through here. But I was like, you know what? Let me do that in case they want to just pop one. They may not want to, but I'm going to send them an invitation in case they want to. That's how we roll here. Where's that little power bunny? Where is that little power bunny girl? Okay, there she is. Okay. And so there you have it. I just sent that out to them if they want to pop one. Yeah, so let's see who's in the building. Kelly A is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And there's Lady G. Lady G is in the building. She says, good morning. And I see all the love between all of you all. And if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. So that way it's like an alarm clock to people. Hello, we're here. We're here. We're here. That's what the likes do. That's what the like, thumbs up, and all that other stuff. All the activity brings people to our platform. So a lot's going on in the news. And I've been contemplating. Now, I want to get your opinion on this. I mean, the core people are here. I mean, I know Chris is busy packing up the house, so that's another reason. Chris will be away this weekend packing up his house. I'm packing up my house, so we're like, he just said this would be a good day to this would be a good weekend to take a break. And I know that it's the holiday. However, I will be out and about. So, like, for instance, Memorial Day, I do believe we have BAM is going to be having their African dance event, which I'm always going to unless I'm out of town. Last year, I was out of town, so I missed it. But I am here this year, and let me see what BAM is doing this year. I'm pretty sure they're doing it. So I will be out and about on Monday doing the BAM. What is it? Let's see it on the calendar. Let's see. BAM, African dance. That's what we need to put in there. African dance or Dance Africa. African festival is African dance. Let's see, 2025. Is it in? Is it this week? Is it this weekend? The Dance African Festival is. Oh no, it's next. It's next week. Oh, okay. So I get to really just hang out at home. It's going to be next weekend. Next. Oh no, wait, no, that's correct. That's correct. Nope, the 26th is Monday. Yes, so Dance Africa. Oh, I'm about to just share this with you all. Let me share that with you. Hold on a second. I got all these windows open here. And but yeah, this is something worth sharing. I don't know if you're in Brooklyn or you ever been to this in New York City. Well, we have a great time here in New York City with Dance Africa, Dance Africa Festival. Let me just, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to share it with you because it is worth sharing. Hats off to BAM. They do this every year. Every year, it looks like they're celebrating Mozambique. So this would be the Memorial Day weekend. Dance Africa, the nation's largest festival dedicated to African diasporic dance and music, opens upon Brooklyn stages and streets in the rich culture artistry of Mozambique. Now its 48th year, this beloved celebration lifts up history and arts from East Africa for the unofficial start of summer. So that's what will be going on. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. They've expanded it this year. Oh, it's going to be they got the films going on from the 23rd. There's a whole lot going on. This is new. This is a whole new level. It's going to be fun. So that means I'll be sneaking out in between my packing up the house. Okay, so, but yeah, it is worth going to. It is absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so this is my question. I mean, let me bring my work wife onto the stage. Oh, wait. First of all, I hear her. The reason why I say that is because I hear her footsteps. I know her footsteps, and so you know what that means. She must be almost near the doorbell. She's almost near the doorbell, y'all. Here she, doorbell. Yeah, there she is. She's at the doorbell, and she's like, "Ron, won't you let me in? What's taking you so? Get to the door."
Oh my goodness.
Hello, cheerleader for all. I love it. Cheerleader for all.
Cheerleader for all. Real talk. Real talk.
You are the cheerleader for all.
Yeah, I am secure in my brightness. I am secure with my candle. So, hey, I'm not concerned.
This woman will get on the plane to support her friends. Let me tell you, I know because I've experienced it.
I'm laughing at Adrian. He's like, just put in the code.
He just, Auntie, if you don't just put your code in and walk in.
Yes. Well, you know what? We have a smart door here. Like most of our house is smart. So when the kids come to visit, I'm like, here's your code. So just come on in and but yeah.
I tell you. The food pantry says I enjoy the annual West Indian parade. We are going to rock in New York City on this weekend. It's going to be great.
Yes,
but Gwendolyn,
oh my God,
isn't
I love
it?
Dance Africa.
Dance Africa is so amazing. I take some of the most amazing photos. I gotta get my I'm not using it, and I've never actually applied to work at BAM during this festivity.
Oh.
Because I get so into it that I want my own freedom.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, I had a wonderful time there. The last time it's been years, so
Yeah.
I should fly back. But I bought some of the best outfits. I still have them.
Yes, they have clothing. They have art. They have
it's a great
everything.
experience. Yeah,
it's such a great, and I mean literally in like what we call this like triangle area. There's a park. And it's outside of BAM, like up the block, right there on the corner where BAM is. And so For those that don't know what BAM is, BAM is the Brooklyn Academy of Music, and it's a very celebrated place of art and culture here in Brooklyn. And but right there they have like usually about 10, 15 drummers just drumming, and they be harmonizing with the drums, and I mean hitting the beats and clicking the beats and moving and percussion and tambourines, and they just go and they do that usually for the whole day. People
Yeah.
rotate in. Some people come in, then some people go home. Some people will come in, some people go get to eat something to eat. Some people come in and they're just banging the drums, and the people are dancing
All day.
from the moment it starts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the dance, they're doing the African dances, they're moving their bodies. It is absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
And last year I was torn because I was hanging out with Nia, my buddy Nia, in Charlotte, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing my African festival. I very rarely miss it, but I'm not missing it this year. This year I'll be here, and being there for the dance festival, Dance Africa Festival 2025 here
Yeah.
in Brooklyn, New York.
It's a good festival. It's a good one.
You got any big plans for the Memorial Day weekend, Gwendolyn?
No.
No.
I mean,
Nothing. You guys are not doing that. You and the hubby are not doing anything special. You're not going to grandma's, as in your mother, and they going to Houston. You're not, or you just wasn't. You were in Houston for a while.
well, okay. So as I mentioned before, when it comes to holidays, the Jacks don't do a lot of the holidays. We just don't do stuff like that. I know it sounds people like what? It's like no. Now he is a veteran, so there are particular days he will observe. And we
Yes.
don't go out and do all these things, but I'm going to spend a good chunk of time in Houston in June. So I will be there like the first week because my nephew's graduating. Love as Praxis is happening, and then there is another event at the end of the month where again my dear friend did a short film about trans youth, and so they have their red carpet premiere. So I'll be there again. So I'm going to be in Houston a lot. It's like
yeah, yep. So that means I'll be getting my phone calls.
yes. Yeah,
I'm her phone road dog.
You're the phone road dog.
When
Yes,
Gwendolyn's on the road, I'm guaranteed to get a call.
you'll probably get a call because Mr. Jack isn't going to drive with me the entire time. He's like, yeah, that's I know. But then there's also his birthday, and we'll be in Nebraska.
When
during
is Mr.
that
Jack's
time.
birthday?
June 10th. He's a Gemini.
Oh, okay.
I
Did
know.
not know that. Why didn't I gotta put that in my calendar.
He is a Gemini. So I'm like excited about it. I mean, there's not much in Lincoln, he says. He said, there's not much there. And I'm like, but I have things to do. This is great. I could be isolated and work on my projects. But I'm also picking up on that it's in Tornado Alley. And is that
yes, it is. Oh, Nebraska. Holy moly. And you are terrified of you are super sensitive to tornadoes.
Well, I've gone through two, and I say gone through as in like one of them, like as I mentioned, messed up my car. Like I just bought the car and it took out the back window, and I was like, "Oh Lord, I can't do this, Lord." If I didn't have my husband here, we would not be here. I'd be like, "This is for the birds." Ain't nobody got time for this.
There's no way I could live in Tornado Alley. There's no way.
Yeah,
it's like you're just waiting to be picked off.
It's climate change is not real. I mean, they're getting
just
worse.
waiting to be picked off. You every season someone's going to die and someone's going to lose their home.
Well, people die every day.
Well, I'm talking about from the tornado.
I'm like, I'm sorry, did I miss that message?
I'm just saying the tornadoes will pick you off every year. Yeah. Okay, Susie May, it's your time. Goodbye.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so but extreme severe weather is just
it's extreme.
Again, this is where we're going because people are just consuming all the things. I think I told you this. I was talking to my friend Joe,
Mhm.
And I was like, I was saying my prayers the other day, and I said, Lord, I know you said you wouldn't bring another flood,
Mm.
but you need to go and do something because we got to wash this stuff out. Like it's getting out of control down here. It's getting out of control. We need to start fresh.
Every
So I
morning I
don't know
go,
if he's like,
Jesus, take the
I
wheel. Just take the wheel,
take
Jesus.
the
Just
wheel.
take the wheel.
Yeah. So no, but it should be interesting being in Nebraska. Never been there, so we shall see. Someone's at the door.
There's somebody here.
What?
There's somebody here. It's Elise. What's going
Hey.
on?
Hello, you know I'm back here cracking up, right? Send
Oh
the
my
rain, send the fires.
I mean, I'm like, look, you need to come watch this out.
I'm like,
Start
Jesus,
over.
take the wheel. Take the wheel. We need help. We need super help.
Like I was just telling someone yes. I was like, Jesus cracked the sky. Go ahead.
Just crack the sky. Just get it over with. Crack the sky and take your people
crazy
home.
every day. Crazy.
Holy moly, every day. Which brings me to my point. We are a community. So I was like, and the people here are the core people of this community. And I said, I don't know about you, but I am now totally exhausted of anything Trump, anything in the political world. And I said, you know what? I mean, I will only talk. I'm at the point where I say, in this community, I'll ask you guys, do you guys want to talk about this in the future or less of it and talk about more photography, more creatives, more arts? Me talk about what would you, I mean, what would you like to see this channel be in this new Trump era? Should we still be talking about the crazy and or maybe we just highlight it and then just kind of do a reference and say, oh, you need to check it out over here or check it out over there. They're doing a essay on that. They're doing a program over here. What do you guys think? I just wanted to just throw it out at the community.
Okay, so here's my thought. Because I was working on some stuff yesterday and I said, isn't it interesting that the world is kind of burning right now and we're just going about our business. I planted some new herbs. I'm so excited to have some mint in a couple of weeks.
Some mints.
Mint, some basil, some dill, some oregano, some thyme.
Uh-huh.
I got some time today, but little nerdy jokes. Okay, so here's the real deal though. You have to say to yourself, where do I want to put my energy? Because I keep going back to that, right? Like this stuff is going to happen, has been happening. I believe all things in moderation, including, food and wine, right? All things in moderation. So I say people need an escape. I had a young lady last week, Letta. We did her podcast, and then we talked for 3 more hours after the fact, right? Because people want to talk, people want to engage, but we don't want to stay on this all day. Like it's already happening. It's like I don't need to hear anything more about that. I want to spend time on what are you working on? How can I support you? What's going down? What fun thing did you read? Like that kind of stuff. And it's not an escape per se, but it kind of is like a little room for some R&R.
Yeah. Elise?
Well, this is an interesting conversation because they want you to be fatigued.
Yes.
They want you to stop paying attention to the important things.
Yes.
I think the problem is when we get distracted by the nonsense, right? I think that becomes a problem. Do you have to talk about it all day, every day? No. But they count on you not. They count on people just going back and saying, oh, you just let it happen. And say, Jesus cracked the sky. But I think that, there are issues that we do need to make sure people are informed about.
Yes.
And I think we have to think about what those things are. But I think we have to stop. And I see people do it online all the time. Every little thing. Trump did. I don't care. I want to know what's in the budget bill. I want to know what's going to happen and how they're going to destroy people's lives. Because we end up, you're wrapped up into and it's not just Trump. You're wrapped up into Diddy. I don't care. Let that trial be the trial and stop talking about it. That has no impact on your life.
That's right.
But whether or not they end Head Start it has an impact on a lot of people's lives. Whether or not they mess with people's benefits and children being able to the food programs out there, that impacts people's lives. Whether there's an election coming up, we haven't even talked about that. There was elections this week. Georgia, there's one today. There's a state with elections today. We haven't talked about those state and local elections that are happening. Texas recently had voting. You know, I post them because we don't talk about the things just to inform people. It's to making sure you don't get distracted by the nonsense. Just finding out information. Like I learned out about an organization called the Canary Mission. I knew nothing about it until I saw a video. And the Canary Mission is a group that gathers the names of people who speak out against Israel and pro-Palestinians on campuses.
Interesting.
And faculty and turn them over to people. That's how the Trump administration has been getting that information. I didn't know that, but I figure it's something that's worthwhile mentioning. I think we need to pay attention to just those things that are really impacting people's lives, and definitely find those moments like Gwendolyn. I've been out in the garden. I think I planted more than one watermelon thing, so it's going to be so many watermelons in my backyard. I don't even know how many. And just trying to do those things that we need to continue to do. I think we do have to not fixate on things. I think that's the important part. But no, they count on you
to check out.
To stop doing it and to stop mentioning the critical things, right?
Yes.
And get distracted by, let's talk about Biden. That's a distraction.
That's a distraction. That was, and this is why I got to the point this week. Yes, I mean, I said, what the hell are they talking? Now remember,
the prostate does not affect your brain.
It does not.
That's not the head that it impacts.
That's right. It's the wrong head. I'm sorry.
I said it.
It's the wrong one. I mean, come on, y'all. It's like, are you serious? They've been talking about it all day yesterday, the day before. I was like, you got to be kidding me. First of all, again, this guy is in the White House getting rid of Medicaid and getting rid of the things and getting rid of college science programs that we need for medical research. All of these things are so important. The media is fixated on Diddy and Biden's prostate.
Those are all distractions. Like the House, Congress didn't deal with the bill on Friday, but they did it in the middle of the night on Sunday.
In the middle of the night.
They're going to have a meeting. They're going to meet at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yes.
1 a.m. in the morning.
While everyone's asleep.
Hoping that the Democrats don't show up. And that if they like me, when I found out somebody, my principal was doing something during the Christmas holiday, I canceled my plans to visit my mother. I went door to door and had 200 people in the auditorium when they showed up. If you like me, you get all your people and show up. But I think that those are the things. So you mask that, right?
Yes.
How much did the media cover that? They didn't. Did the media cover that in that bill that there's a provision to try to shield the Cubans in Florida from some of the impact? They specifically have something in there for the Cubans in Florida. So that stuff is not being reported.
Never being reported.
They're not, because they're distracting you about, now we have to see if what his brain is not in his prostate. It was in his head. And so to try to reduce his thing to say, we don't know the auto pen, that that part of your body has nothing to do with your hand or your brain. My husband went through it, prostate cancer, and remember, folks, there's no stage 9 cancer. There is
no such thing as stage 9. There's no such thing as stage 5. The sun says 5. The idiot orange man says 9. There's no stage 9.
Lord,
but what pissed me off in the evening news last night with the orange man saying it, that no one refuted it. This is the news media. The news media just said automatically, as soon as they share that clip, if you're going to share the clip, You got to share the truth.
Make the corrections.
Make the correction in real time. And I tell you, yesterday I kind of like went off the cliff and said, I cannot take it anymore.
And I can tell you can't. I can tell. But when you talk about, we still have to remember
yes,
that we've been saying this for the last few years. The media is complicit. The media is owned by wealthy white men.
Yes.
You need to really understand that the people are quitting. They're forcing them out. They don't have to settle for millions of dollars with this man, but they're settling billions of dollars. But and a lot of those people have from Rupert Murdoch's organizations have infiltrated these news organizations, major news organizations, and most people don't even realize it, nor do they address that fact. That's why it's happening. And so and so if you think about it, if you don't tell the bits of truth that you can share with your community.
Yes.
Because not everyone is listening to all those things, but they may come in to listen to you. If you don't share those real important pieces and the news is working with distractions, where do they
get to hear it?
So you still need to figure out, you may not want to go in depth every time, but you still may want to figure out what you want to put out there. And be real. You know how I am. I'm real selective about what I even discuss.
Yes.
So I'm not going to discuss gossip. I'm just not. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I will discuss healthcare. I discuss a lot of things, but I'm not going to go through and dwell on and be distracted by people's personal lives. I'm just not going to do it. And at the same time, what do we really want to make sure? How do we really want to make sure that people are informed? And just choose, like you said, choose the days you want to do it, like the Wednesday water cooler talks or days like today. Choose those days and then just look at what is it that you want to talk about. I think that's the biggest part is and make it real information. Like there's not much talk about in the media itself about all of these local elections that were taken, because Georgia had one. So there's not much talk about that. There's still, I talked to her, I DM'd a person when I posted one about Georgia. I know she's a collector, and I know her from art collecting. She DM'd me back and said, "Hey, my daughter who voted in November found out she wasn't on the rolls in Georgia, so she checked her roll." And that's why I keep telling people, I don't care if you voted in the red states. I don't care if you voted in the last primary, the last election. Constantly check your voter registrations, because there's still groups of people who are trying to purge you out. And so I think things like that is what we probably would want to talk about, those bits of information. What we shouldn't get infuriated about. I don't care about him and his plane and what's true and not true. I don't care.
Yes.
But we need to care about what Gwendolyn goes out to these pantries and he's working with food and they're getting less and less supplies because they cut the budget for that. We need to care about those things. We need to care about that kind of stuff more than anything, because that's where we are impacted and where with people that we know and talk to and care about are impacted. Sorry about taking so long.
No, this is why we have a community. This is a community. We're not a news platform. We're not an entertainment platform. This is a community of creatives, photographers, and we just hanging out and we just chat. We come together, we talk about what's in the world, what's in the news, and we also talk about what's happening in our world. And but I was curious. I said, I got I have finally come to the point where this weekend I had to make a decision. And I'm a news junkie. I've been a news junkie all my life. And I am consumed by news. I want to know what's going on. It's the nosy part of me. But at least I'm not in people's business. I'm in the community's business. The government, what's happening around the world. And my godmother used to say when I was a kid, she was like, "You are so nosy."
I tell my husband that all the time
because I ask questions about everything. Nothing will escape me, because I would be the kid in the kitchen while my godmother's making food, and I'll say, I was like, Miss Rochester. I was calling Miss Rochester. I was
Miss
like,
Rochester.
so what do you think about this? And why are they doing that? And what's happening over there? What I said, why did sister such and such talk to you like that? And she's like, none of your business, boy.
Grown folk business.
Grown folks business. I was the
The
kid.
worst part is you're sitting out here with a Gemini and a Virgo, and neither one of us care about other folks' business.
I'm like,
I don't care about anyone else, but what's going on in your circle.
Now, the Gemini and the Virgo, do not ask us a question if you don't want to know the truth.
This is true.
pretty much, right? Yes.
Answer. Don't ask us the question.
My godmother was a Sagittarius. And she was, but I remember we would be in the kitchen or someone would say something to her. I was at my godparents' house all the time. And I would be fascinated by all the stuff that was happening. Like, the neighbors down the block, the neighbors doing something. And I was like, did you see I'll never forget one time this woman, she got upset with her husband. And so the ambulance had came to the building next door. And I was like, what's going on? Me being the one I've always been in news. I want to know what's going on. So I go to they were like, the police came also, and they were like, stay away, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm the kid. And it turned out that her husband was abusive. He used to beat her all the time. So my godmother finally told me he was not a nice person to his wife. He used to beat her, but she didn't kind of like tell me directly. She was talking to her sister, but I was in the room, so I was like listening. Anyway, they reel him out. He's on this like the bed going into the ambulance, and they're like rushing him out of the building. And I was like, what happened to Mr. Such and Such? And they said, oh, she got him back. She got him back. And I was like, really? What do you mean? She, in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? Because she's not talking to me. She's really talking to her sister. However, I'm there for my news gathering. And so I wanted to be a journalist from the very beginning. And so next thing they're talking, and she says, yes, sis, yeah, girl. Yeah, you know what she did? She took those safety pins and she stitched him in with the safety pins. He locked him in the sheets and got a boiling pot of water, and the rest was history.
Oh, I would have thought she would have got some grits.
No, she boiled some water. He was stitched in with the little safety pins, and she boiled him. I mean, she splashed him up and while he was in the bed, and they had to take him out in that little rolling stretcher. They ran out. They were like, move out the way, move out the way.
At least she called the ambulance.
But I was always, I mean, yeah, at least she did. Yes, she did. And she didn't go to jail. She did not go to jail because he was so abusive to her, and she was able to prove it. He didn't die. But he never came back. He never came back to the house and never bothered her again.
When you asleep, I'd be like, I'm not going back there.
He ain't gonna sleep in that house again. But I was always the kid. I was always that kid. I want to know what was going on everywhere in the neighborhood.
Now I would listen. If I'm in the room, I'm gonna listen.
That's right. I'm
sitting there doing something else, but I will listen now.
And I like a good story. I love a good story. So my godmother and her sister, both have now passed away, but they used to have these conversations, and her sister really was the gossip queen of the neighborhood. Like my godmother was the housewife.
That's why you were there.
The sister, she had free reign.
Oh my God.
She had free reign to roam the streets of Washington Avenue and Fulton Street and move around. She knew everybody's business. I was like, Auntie, you are amazing.
Yeah, that's the way it was. My mother and my neighbor, the neighbor that lived across the street. Now, those two ladies saw everything. They slept in their bedrooms, which faced the street. Both of them always had like their blinds or curtains or their shade so you can see out of it. So they can hear. If they hear anything, they're gonna know all your business. Always know your business. And then they both curse like sailors. So I would sit there and just listen to them.
Sound like me.
They were something.
Did anybody else in the building have in the chat in the community have that they knew of the gossip woman in the neighborhood? Remember 227?
Yeah.
Yes.
That TV show.
Yes.
And the woman that used
Pearl.
to Pearl. That was my auntie. My godmother's sister was Miss Pearl, and we sat on the stoop just like that. That was how we grew up. We grew up on the stoop. Yeah. And everyone would come through the stairs, come through the building, going in and out, and we all sat on the stoop. And they obviously they were babysitting us also. So they were like, "You guys stay on the stoop. You can go down there, and we can't see you. Then you're in the wrong spot."
Look, so my best friends were adults. I would sit on the
my
porch
friends
with
were
all
adults. Yes. Yes. Oh, you and I always talk about this. Elise and I have so much in common. Every time we talk, we're like, yeah. And but I had all my friends were older than me. All of them. Every single one of my friends. My god brother, he was my age. We hung out, but it was more I hung out with his mama.
Oh my God.
That's what happens. You hang out with the parents. Like, you boys like me on the street. I'm sitting on the porch talking to their mother. I don't care about you. I just want to listen to your mother tell all the stories.
Because the women
doing what?
The older folks had the great stories, right? So if you are someone like myself who's fascinated by stories, remember I told you I was Curious George when I was a kid. My mother used to buy me every month. Curious George came in the mail, and I got excited. Curious George flies a kite. Curious George drives a car. Curious George. I am truly Curious George. So
yeah, there's always somebody out there. Yeah, but I was always that information gatherer. So when I talked to my friend, I did have friends in high school, but when I talked to them and they asked me advice, I sounded like somebody older, like, well, the boys are like that because you just too easy.
She had wisdom. She got the wisdom.
Always. Run out being my husband and I coming this weekend.
Are you coming up this weekend?
Oh, there you go.
Next this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your husband's coming up?
Yep, he's coming.
Oh, I get to hang
go
out
for Memorial Day, things like Memorial Day, Labor Day.
I get to hang out with the mister. We got to set it up. Are we meeting in Juniors this time again? Or
I don't know. We have to look. He comes with an itinerary.
Ooh,
he's a planner. Like, my husband is a retired planner. We never went any place without an itinerary.
Do you stick to it though?
Oh my goodness, yes. So my thing is, I would tell him he has to build free time in that.
Adrian's in the building, but he cannot hear this. But he will verify, because I am that guy. I'm like your husband.
What?
I plan everything. Adrian will tell you. When we would go on a road trip, I'd be like this. We go in this place. We're going that place. We got this going on. Oh yeah, I am a planner. I cannot go traveling without doing my research.
I want to know when the off day is on the vacation.
I mean, you need a vacation from the vacation.
Right.
I will research where the wineries are and what restaurants, but the rest of it, unless it's like something specific, it's like, no, it's free time. It's free time. You go figure
Adrian
it out.
bears witness. He says you better see if you can squeeze into the itinerary.
Oh my goodness.
Look, what I'm trying to do is like, okay, so
ain't nothing more annoying than a planner when all.
Okay, so these art exhibits I want to see.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Bishop Gallery. I haven't been to this gallery. So I have to figure out some time and see if they're open. And then my daughter, we're gonna go to the Met on Saturday morning. My son's supposed to get that done. I have to remind him because he's a Virgo. He'll go about his business. You have to come back, have to loop back in and say, "Hey son, do you remember to do this?" And
So
then,
you're gonna have to keep me posted of how we can get in lunch or dinner or something, so we can connect.
absolutely. And I may have, like, one of my pieces may be loaned out to a place, and I'll let y'all know.
Oh, wow.
That happens. I'm excited
Nice.
about that. So
I love when Elise and I get together every time she's at least for an hour or two. Well, no, we can never be an hour. We're always hanging out for about 2 or 3 hours, and then when she has to go her way, and then she has to go to some art gallery
all the time.
Ron, I have a gallery to go to this evening. I was like, well, you just came from the gallery.
Look, and you start wishing, like, why can't you be teleported, right? Why can't you teleport? Right. There's something in Baltimore this weekend, and then I'm going to New York. I need to be able to teleport.
Oh my God. Oh, yes, Adrian says, Lisa said, I remember I messed up and laughed once and got sent to the room. Lisa says, she says, I would listen, but knew not to comment, not even smirk, to let them have a clue I was listening, because staying in grown folks' business meant an ass whooping. That was me, Lisa. I'm the same way. I used to sit there like I was doing other things, but I was listening. Old folks be knowing.
Well, at least in my house, they were on the phone. Now we didn't have a stoop. We had porches. We would sit on the porch.
Yeah, we sat on a stoop because we didn't have a porch.
Do a little.
Our stoop was the porch. And in Brooklyn, most stoops are the porch.
Well, if you were in the country, then you had a porch.
Yes.
It's the concrete steps.
Yeah, I grew up where
people kind of go through, and I would be like, who's that coming down the road?
Hey, lady.
There's a dirt road with a lot of dust. You're like, who is
the
that?
lazy millennial is in the building.
Hey, Adriana, sweet.
I grew up with porches until I got to DC, and I tell my husband, I said, that's all I ever wanted was a porch, and I still don't have one.
I've always wanted a porch or a terrace. Now, the terrace is because I just like to see the city and be out. I always wish I had a terrace here, but I love a porch. When I go to Charlotte and I go to visit Nia, her mother has a porch, and we sit out on the porch, and she has one of those swings that's connected to the top, and you get on the swing and hope it doesn't fall out the ceiling. But it's just nice being on a porch. There's something about connecting at the end of the day and talking and having a conversation about, whatever's going on the porch. The porch is, now that's one thing I love about Southern life is the porch. We have porches in New York City. I was going to say America. We have porches in New York City, but we don't have a lot of them. We have the stoops. It's our stoops.
Now, my dad and I, if I came to visit, he would have his folding chair and an extra chair, and he would greet you outside with some sort of cocktail or something. And then you just sit out there and BS. You would be out there for hours on the porch, just watching people and a little bit of this and that. Yeah, the porch like a gathering spot.
It was a spot. Yes.
You didn't spend all that time inside like we do now. It's let's go outside, and you're waving at people blowing horns. You don't know, but you're waving anyway. That's how you learn how to be so
someone's walking. Yeah, someone's driving by. Hey, hey, what's going on?
Yes. That's why that's so and so.
That's why most Southerners are so friendly like that, because we were always sitting outside waving at people.
That's what I love about that. That's one of my things. Like I say, I'm more prone to be on a porch if I'm in the South than if I'm here in New York.
Yeah,
the porch is everything.
There are lots of porches in that part of Brooklyn, and
we do have areas with porches. You go out to this place called Ditmas Park area. These beautiful Victorian homes and Georgian homes with huge porches. Porches that wrap around the house. Yeah. We do have them in Brooklyn. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
most of us don't have them, but there are sections and pockets around Brooklyn and Queens, around the city, that do have them, but they are not as much as stoops.
I know. You know that when I walked that 12 miles that day, I saw those porches.
Did you go to Ditmas? You went to Ditmas Park?
I don't know where I was. I kept walking.
Oh man, Ditmas Park. The homes are one day. I need to just do a live from Ditmas Park. It is so beautiful. It's just you can't believe that you are in New York. I mean, it's old federal style buildings, Georgian style buildings. It's like, I hate to use the word plantation, but it looks like, I mean, some of the homes out there are plantations as well. You know, they were, I mean, these houses they're huge.
The part we don't talk about. The part we don't talk about is
Brooklyn had planned. Well, people forget that Brooklyn had one of the, if not the largest plantation in America during the early 1800s. Just saying.
Yeah, that's like that house that caught on fire.
Oh, did you see the internet go ablaze? No pun intended. I mean, black folks were posting all kinds of stuff. They were having supper, and the thing was burning up behind them, and they had the dinner tables out. I mean,
and people were like, "Oh, memes. You know, it's the history, and my family stayed in there, your family stayed in there." And they did no. And have you all seen the clip of the tour that they would give?
I did see that clip.
That thing.
It's like who wrote that for her?
Yeah, who wrote
that? How you get those words out of your mouth?
Did you see Jill Scott? Did you see Jill Scott? Scott's reply? Oh my gosh. Jill Scott went in and
Jill Scott's reply.
And then she goes, I went on a tour and I couldn't believe what I heard. You know how Jill Scott is. She's so calm and so I love when Jill Scott talks. I can just listen to her all day. And then she says, but I went downstairs and someone took a piss on that carpet. And they were wondering where that water came from. I was like, and she says, she said, inside I was cheering because someone took a piss on that carpet. It's like, oh my gosh. They had to do one of the plantation tours, and she says, they were like, don't touch that, don't do this, don't do that. And then they were explaining, and she was like, don't you realize that there's black people on this tour? She said, I don't even know why I was on this tour, but we were on this tour because we wanted to know.
So I told you all about taking a carriage ride in Charleston, didn't I?
No, what happened in Charleston?
So Jazzy was there. Well, so we went to Charleston, and I always when they take you on the carriage ride, they're telling these stories because most of the time, it's not us driving the carriage riding through Charleston. And I used to listen to it with my husband walking by, and I thought, I don't understand why they're not telling the truth how that man earned that money. So the last time I went, it was with them, and I said, let's go on this carriage ride. So the man started talking. He gets to one of the places talking about how rich this person was, and he was in shipping. I said, excuse me. I raised my hand. Shipping.
They hate when we raise our hands. They hate when the black folks raise their hands.
I said, you're gonna tell the people what he was shipping.
Here she go.
How he made that money. I made him say they were shipping slaves. In my group I said, I'm surprised they didn't take my picture so I could never ride their carriage again.
I did the same thing. It was Mimbo, myself, Nia, and Winter. We went on a plantation. We went to the plantation. We went to two of them in South Carolina, and we went to one, and we had a really good tour guide. He was telling the truth. He was really giving you the full story. So then, me knowing a little bit of history, I said, do you want to talk about this? And he was like, oh, he says, oh, you know about that. I said, yeah, let's talk about it. But they get because you take them off their script when you present history.
Oh, I went so I could take them off that script. I said, I'm gonna take this ride. We're gonna talk about this today.
I'm always the one raising my hand. Can I give you some input?
I know he hated to
you know what we were talking about? We were talking about the slave. We went through the slave houses, and then they were showing us the different styles of the slave houses as time went on, like how as they went further out, they got better and all that other stuff. But then I was talking to them. I said, did y'all talk? I said, you want to bring up the second wave of slavery? And, and then all the people were like, what is that? I said, yeah, remember when slavery was abolished, but people forget there was another wave that happened after, and also how there was a surge in this new slavery, but they didn't get the slaves from Africa. What they did was implement laws so that their slave masters could rape their slaves so they can produce offspring to create new slaves.
Right.
Man, those white people in that tour were like, oh, he done. But the tour guide, to his credit, he dove into it. He was a little Irish guy. He dove into it. He says, yes, that's a good point, sir. That's a good point. Let me talk about it.
Right.
And we all looked at each other, Nia and myself and Winter. But they knew I was going to be that person. I was going to be that person.
Well,
I want to know the truth.
That's why they had the law that if your mother were a slave, you were a slave.
That's right.
Because that's what they were doing. So it's always funny to me. If you don't want to, don't take me on anything like that. Because I'm definitely gonna talk about it.
Adrian said, I thought Jill admitted she peed on that carpet. Was that an admittance what she was doing? I don't know.
I have to watch it.
It's so funny the way she said, and they took a piss. I love me some Jill Scott. Oh, goodness.
But the way that lady says they built cottages.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
They built cottages. Got that. Whoo, but I couldn't have been there. She would have died.
She says, if they're going to do those tours, they have to tell the truth. If they don't, you have to make them tell the truth. Absolutely. So do you think Jill Scott did it? Adrian or anybody? I gotta find the YouTube video.
She said she might have.
He might have. Maybe she was admitting. I don't know. That's a good point. You know, a part of me did ask that question when she was sharing it. I said, did she do it?
Jazzy said she did.
Oh, she said she did.
Oh, she did. Jazzy said she did. Oh, okay. Jill Scott. I love her. And she's so I was like, the video is so she just gives you the whole story and then she goes in. And so okay, it's apparently I was trying to figure out was she admitting she did it? I was like, well, is she just saying someone else did it? But now we know.
Jill says she has a lot of her father in her.
Anyway, let's go into some lessons. This was great, guys. I'm so glad. But this is the conversations I like when we have here in our community. This is the best. We never know what's going to. We talk about everything here, but I definitely would like to. Okay, but you gave me a good balance of recommendation of we should definitely share what is necessary.
Yeah,
and have a balance. We still need to do that.
Yeah,
and I wanted to just give from the community. Yep.
that we not get distracted because that's some of the most annoying stuff to me. Instagram. And I replied to something this morning, and that woman I unblocked her.
Who?
LaShonda. She used to come in here.
Oh, is that the same LaShonda?
She started following me again. I blocked her again.
Gwendolyn, is that the same LaShonda?
I ain't saying nothing.
Did you block her, Gwendolyn? I blocked her before.
Gwendolyn.
So I blocked her again because she's gonna respond to I hate when people try to come for me.
LaShonda.
I was like, don't do that. I blocked her again because don't come for me saying that the man taking bribes and he's old and can't string a sentence not true. Well, that's just not true. And I'm gonna make a video about what you just said. I blocked her. You can talk to yourself all day, sis. I don't want no parts of you.
Miss Lee's. Now, Ron done already said he finna start class, and here you come here stirring up all this dust and stuff. And he done already said he finna start class.
Well, apparently you must have some dust, Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, my goodness, Gwendolyn.
Did she come for you, Gwendolyn?
The first time that woman acted up online, Gwendolyn, I don't know, she sends me a text. She was like, do you hear what this woman is saying? And then, she always comes into the room to stir up mess with crazy.
Well, she don't ever have to worry about me seeing any of her crazy.
Oh,
and if somebody come back and tell me she gonna say something crazy, I'm gonna see what Instagram gonna do about her. But anyway, she's out there. She drank the Kool-Aid. She with the Jim Jones.
She stirs stuff up. She stirs stuff up.
I don't understand the play. I don't get it. I don't even understand. I don't get it. But yes, Ron knows it's.
I got it. That day, Gwendolyn let me. Gwendolyn had to air out.
What I said, she get on my last effing nerve. I meant that. I was like, I can't.
It was like word fireworks with Gwendolyn. She was like, she was exploding. I was like, then I didn't even know who she was. And then the next thing,
she used to come in
check her out. Yeah, check her out. And then I went down to scroll. I scrolled down. I said, oh, she's one of those.
Yeah, she used to come in here, and then whatever she did, she stopped.
Yes, but she did come here for a couple of times.
Yeah,
yes, she did.
It was talking crazy.
Is that Gwendolyn? Was that the one that triggered the moment?
She's been a lot of moments.
She's been in a lot of rooms though.
I don't believe in groupthink. I think it's beautiful. I believe it is necessary to have your own thoughts.
Absolutely.
But
yes, have your own thoughts.
Purpose is to just come in and do some dumb stuff. I don't have patience for foolishness. Either bring some real shit to the table or shut the fuck up. One of the two. Right. That's it. One of the two.
Look, I'm the same way. And my thing is, don't come for me. Because you come for me. I had two choices. My choice was to go in and really blast you out or just block you.
And can you guys see Elise blasting someone out?
I always tell people this, and if he would tell you, I'm a very consistent personality. Very consistent. Gemini or not, I'm very consistent. However, don't take my calmness and consistency for you won't get this. I always tell people, you don't want to see her. You want to see this.
You don't want to see this Gemini. You don't want to see the other Gemini person. You don't want to see the twin.
Yeah, because as even as passionate as I can get on here, is nothing close to how she is. I tell people that all the time. You don't want her. You want this. Because if she ever comes out, she comes out full force. And then she turns around, and I've done it to people at work. I'll turn around and walk away in there, trying to figure out what you're gonna say next. I don't have time for that. I'm gonna say it and leave you. But you don't ever want her to come out. I just keep telling people you don't want her to come out because she is not. She is. The
twin is bad. The twin is bad.
Look, the closest I got was the man that got out of the car up here one day. He was driving crazy, tried to get in front of me. And I blew the horn, and he's like, and he gets out of his car and starts talking to me, black guy. He gets out of his car,
come out.
And then he says, shut the F up. But she came out. She was winning amazing. And then I said, God, I'm sorry, but he needed that. Guess what he did? He got back in that car.
And you said, God, I'm sorry.
I said, God, I'm sorry, but he needed that.
He needed a tongue lashing.
Right after I said all those F-bombs. I was like, okay.
Did you so you're telling me that twin has a cousin to Gwendolyn?
So my twin is my other side has the vocabulary 13-year-old self. who had a vocabulary like my mother and the lady across the street. So yes, my other side, when it comes out, that you don't want to come out, definitely has a little bit of that in her.
David says, I'm almost afraid for Elise's husband.
But see, that's why he's my husband, because he's the yin to my yang, so he knows how to balance me.
There you go.
But clearly, she showed
balance.
herself. Now, the thing I always tell people, I was true to who I was before he asked me to marry him.
You know, it's so interesting. You say the same thing that Gwendolyn says. Gwendolyn says the same exact thing. And it seems that both of you have husbands that are similar. Like they balance you out.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's all I say.
Because Mr. Jack is so calm. Mr. Jack is like this, a steady ship, just moving through the wind. Now, Gwendolyn, if you stir it up, she's taking down the sails and she's gonna do her thing.
I'm gonna cut somebody out.
Yeah. I know. I've seen you in action.
I don't know how I had my job for 25 years. I stayed cussing folks out in front of my boss. I was like, he finna get it today. I already told him, stop talking to me.
We had a conversation when she went. What was it? The cruise ship you went on, and you had to put someone in place. One of the nieces or something.
Yes.
I said no. They said they messed with the wrong auntie. They messed with the wrong cousin. But yeah. I mean, the good thing, I mean, that's the beauty. I always love people that can express themselves. I'm usually more conservative and reserved, but I do enjoy a good conversation and spicy where people can get out there and just share what's on their minds. I love it.
I always tell people, like, I love to hear Samuel L. Jackson talking to me.
I do.
My husband's like, what? I said, because can't nobody curse like black people.
It's in art.
It's in art. It really is. Black folks, when they start to cuss, as they say back in the day, man, it's an art. It's an art. And I'm telling you, Gwendolyn, she can create some masterpieces.
Are not safe for work. Ron's always like, who are you talking to right now? Man, yeah.
And
if you can read somebody, if you can read someone and couple it, oh my God.
That part, Gwendolyn.
The library stays open. It stays open.
Yes. And that's what all they can do is sit and look at you like, did you say that?
Did you actually say? But it's the way they say. I mean, I remember, like I said, when I was a kid, I used to be around some spicy conversations, and there's an art. No one, like, you know, my white friends, when I hang out at their house and their cousins and their dads and moms just cursing around the table, whatever, I'm like, y'all have nothing. I mean, when you're around a black family, woo, those that do curse, they know how to. It's like a whip, a trained person with a whip. Right. So anyway, I'm getting off here and teach my photography. So guys, if you're just joining us, we are off for the rest of the week. We'll be back on Tuesday after Memorial Day. Just letting y'all know. So if you don't see, you're gonna be waiting tomorrow. And be like, where's Ron? Where is he? Don't call me and be like, Ron, are you okay?
Look, and tell her, Ron, go back and watch it. We didn't just talk about cussing.
Yes,
I see somebody put ing on the end. No, it's cussing.
Cussing.
Adrian.
You know, now Adrian will correct you. Adrian's always lurking in the distance.
That's why
with
I had
correction.
This time I was correcting him. It's cussing. We cuss. We do cussing.
Unseasoned cussing. No, cussing.
All right.
Cussing. So anyway, this was great. I'm going to teach the lesson for Memorial Day, and then we're out. But guys, I am so glad you popped on. You guys, I love you to death. So, Elise, when you get to New York, ask your husband where we can fit us into the agenda, and we're going to get together when you get to New York.
Look, I'll consult it.
Consult the agenda list.
I will. All right, Rod. See, I'll talk to you later. All right,
Love
bye,
you. Okay, Gwen, I'll talk to you later.
Scooby,
Oh,
I can't find the exit. Oh, there it is.
there you go. Now I have this thing on here. Can you guys see the conversation in the chat? Oh, wait a minute. Jazzy sent $10. Whoa! Dog it. For those that don't know, you can hit that little button on the bottom with the little dollar sign. Wow. Thank you, Jazzy. That's going to help us with our StreamYard next month. Thank you, Jazzy. That was awesome, Jazzy. You are the best. You are the best. And Chris says, bye, guys, to the girls. And Bryson says, it's going to be a lot of cussing. Adrian says, yes, yes, yes. And we have the S. And there we have it. Chris says, I love that we can see it. Oh, really? You like the chat right there? That I don't know how that happened. I don't even know how I got that on the screen like that. Chris, you're gonna have to school me how that worked. I don't know how that chat right there is there. I don't know how it works. How did I get that on the screen? Anyway, it's gonna have to stay there because Ron is going to lessons. It is time. It will be in the way. It will be in the way, but we'll go full screen. Okay, so we are talking right now how to photograph your Memorial Day holiday with your camera and smartphone. And Chris says it looks new. It must be something new. I don't know how it got on the screen. I don't know. I can't find it. But I'm not gonna play with it because I don't want to mess up my my flow here. So, how to photograph your Memorial Day holiday with your camera and smartphone. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And you see some beautiful photos of people gathering. This Memorial Day weekend, our community can use our smartphones to capture moments of reflection, gratitude, and togetherness while honoring those who served. Here are some photography tips that blend technical skill with storytelling. I love photos. I love photos of people and families. I just love it. Capture emotion in portraits. Take meaningful portraits of family members, veterans, or moments of silent reflection. A great tip is to focus on natural expressions rather than posed shots. Anyone can do a pose shot. Anyone can say, hey guys, let's gather together and let's take a picture. That's easy. Tell your story. Do not organize the people. Just tap the screen to lock the focus on your subject's eye, right? You just tap the screen. Remember I talked about that in past conversations? If you take that, you tap the screen and focus, tap on the face of the person, a little light comes up, a little light bulb, little icon with a slider. You can adjust your exposure, but also it will be sharp if you tap on the subject. Make sure you tap on the subject. Okay, some more photos of some families. Use soft light for tribute shots. Early morning or late afternoon provides soft golden light that enhances the mood. Use your HDR mode to balance shadows and highlights when photographing flags, wreaths, or candles at memorials. Now, when you go into your camera, for most cameras, and the Apple camera, if you have iPhone or if you have an Android, you go into your camera settings. There's a setting called HDR, right? HDR. And what it does is it's a computer. It takes many shots at one time, like and then consolidates them and makes them one photo, just like that. Just by clicking the button, HDR just takes it, merges all of these photos. It analyzes all the light and brings them all together and becomes one photo. So you can turn on your HDR mode on your smartphone. Okay, there you have it on that. And here we go. Frame with symbolism. Thoroughly frame symbols of remembrance, such as the American flag, military memorabilia, or flowers at a gravesite. Use these. Leading lines, such as a row of flags, can draw the eye toward the central subject. Leading lines. We talk about that a lot. Leading lines. Like you see here. Leading lines. Take candid family moments. Memorial Day is also about togetherness. Capture candid moments of families, sharing stories, laughing, engaging in traditions like barbecues. Before I go there, like hanging out on the porch, like we just talked about, hanging out on the stoop, hanging out around the table. Just take pictures while people are doing. You don't have to say, hey guys, I'm gonna take a picture. I mean, that's cool. But take pictures of people in the moment of engaging one another. That's how you're going to tell your visual story of your gathering. Also, you can do something called burst mode. I wanted to pause on that, but burst mode, a lot of cameras, a lot of Androids. I have not seen burst mode on my iPhone yet, but I know on Androids, you have what's called burst mode. You can put your camera into burst mode. And what that does is you're able to get multiple clicks. It's like you press the button and it's like, it takes like 32 pictures per frame, 32 pictures. And then what you go in and you pick the right one that is perfect for the moment. Because you could have an event, someone was engaging, maybe they're laughing, they're moving around, and it's hard to focus with your smartphone as they're moving around. So the best way to do that is again, put your index finger on the subject. However, in your burst mode, hit the button, and it's going to give you multiple shots, and then you pick the one that is the best. Okay, that's burst mode. That's what we use burst mode for. Lots of Android phones have it. I'm still haven't found it on my iPhone. If it's there, one of the things I do miss about my Android is my burst mode. Okay, there you go. You take pictures of folks and family. Incorporate reflection shots. Water surfaces, glass memorials, plaques, or even smartphone screens reflecting flags or loved ones create powerful symbolic imagery. Okay, now this phone has a screensaver on it, but you can borrow someone's phone, right? And take your phone and place it give it like a pepper, what we want to call it, angle, a 90-degree angle there. It's a 90-degree. And do this, and you will get what's called a reflection with using someone else's phone. Make sure the screen is clean. And you can take the picture of someone and get their reflection on the screen of the phone that you're using. Well, you can use a mirror or whatever, but it's really cool when you use a black screen and you get that reflection. So you take your lens is there, get it right there on the bottom. Look at that lens meeting the phone, the screen, let it reflect off the person, take the picture, see what kind of photo you get. It's a really cool trick of getting an interesting photo with reflections. Or you can use a wall, or you can use a monument, anything that reflects. It just brings such beauty to a photo. Edit for warmth and meaning. A simple edit using the warmth slider or black and white filters can enhance the emotional depth of a photo. Editing should amplify the story rather than overpowering it. Right? So in your phone, you have an editing tool. You can use the editing tool in your phone, or you can use editing tools like Snapseed. I always mention to you guys, Snapseed, Lightroom, Photoshop. They all have apps for your smartphone, and you can take that picture and edit it to tell your story. Okay? Share stories alongside photos. Photography isn't just about the image. It's about the memory attached to it. Share short captions or stories explaining what the moment represents. This kind of thoughtful photography allows our audience to honor the holiday while keeping the storytelling at the heart of our images. So my brothers were here at the house this weekend, and we went through these photo albums that I had accumulated from 1982, 83, 84, 85. How did we know what years they were? Because when I was younger, didn't know I did it. I did not know this how I operated until I looked back at my photos, and it paid off. I used to write notes. I put the pictures in the photo album and then write notes underneath the photos so that way I would know what they were in the future. So now I know most of us don't use albums any longer, but you can create photo albums online and then put little captions because they usually have places for your captions. Put your captions in, tell about the moment. So that way you'll have it for the future. Okay? And in conclusion, Memorial Day is a time to honor, reflect, and connect. Through thoughtful smartphone photography, we can capture moments of remembrance and gratitude, whether in heartfelt portraits, symbolic compositions, or candid family gatherings. Let us photograph not just to document, but to tell stories that express appreciation for those who served. And to all of the people that have served in our military, that serve this country in so many ways, because people serve this country not only through being on the front lines in a uniform on a military base or overseas. There are people that are administrators that work with the military. There's hospitals, there's doctors, there's veteran hospitals. There's so many people that serve this country, and we are thankful for you, and we say we appreciate you. And we remember those on Memorial Day, which is different from Veterans Day. We celebrate the veterans who are alive on Veterans Day, and we remember those that have passed. But on Memorial Day, we remember those who passed, who have passed, who have served. We remember them, and we take a moment to thank them for their service. So there's two. Memorial Day is for remembrance, remembering all those who mean something to us and have served us as a country. Okay, I think that's it. I think we got it all in. Again, I would like to give my banners. Obviously, it's banner time. It's time to give you guys, if you want to connect with me offline, make sure you join the email list. Go to ronlewisphotos.com and you could get on the mailing list. Also, if you have someone that wants a photographer for event photography, I am an event photographer. So recommend me and I can be employed, get some work. Okay. Also, I always like to say thank you to our Patreon members, those who support our Patreon community, that support us by their monthly gifts to make sure that we keep things going here. It takes money to be on here live every day. So they take care of you. So, and we have a lot of members that are free members, but I hope one day they will step it up and also not only receive all the good gifts that we have here at the Patreon community, which you can find all of these lessons. All of these lessons are on the Patreon channel. So if you go to patreon.com and go Ron Lewis Photos, you will have all of our tips. They all live there. Every single tip we've ever done is there. Every Motivation Monday is there. Any specials are there. And we are getting ready for those that are for our free giveaway of a download that is coming up in June. So we'll be at 6 months. We'll be at the middle of our year. And so we will have a free download in June coming up, a giveaway for the Patreon community. So, okay. So I think we got it all. I think we got it all in. I love it. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you, Elise, for sharing and joining me on my porch, my digital porch here. And it was so good to hang out with you. And guys, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Again, I will see you on Tuesday. That also means we are not doing our game night. I am going to be focusing only on dismantling my house. So I will see everybody on Tuesday back here. Love you all. Have a wonderful and safe Memorial Day weekend. Drive safely. Do everything to stay safe. Love you and see you on Tuesday. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.